for checking up. Check it out. Now, I think about Chief Keef. When Chief Keef was at the height of his success, he was in a position where he could do whatever the fuck he wanted to do. All right. However, Chief Keef decided against many popular or suggested moves. He did not rock with the record label at all. He was signed to Interscope 2012. He didn't want to shoot videos, didn't want to do interviews. He didn't want to even do tours, didn't even want to fucking perform. Looked like he didn't even want to be a rapper. At that point, all he wanted to do is chase ops. All right? Now, surely he was dropped from Interscope, but what happened at that period in time, we also saw Jimmy Iovine, who headed Interscope, one of the main reasons Chief Keef supposedly signed to Interscope. He went to Apple Music, okay? He sold beats and he went to Apple Music, and he took a couple people with him. One of them, Larry Jackson, okay? Now, we get to find out in an interview with Chief Keef, man. Chief Keef, he's talking about the past, and number one, it's kind of interesting that Chief Keef is talking at all, but it's interesting because Chief Keef said he could have been signed to Apple. Now, this is vague because we don't know Apple to be a record label. So we're not sure if maybe, and he's talking about back then. So it's like 2012, I'm guessing, or 2013. I'm not sure if he's talking about he could have been the first artist with a Apple Music exclusive or the first person signed to Apple as a record label. Now, again, we got no proof that nobody signed to Apple, and even Chance, he says, I ain't signed to Apple, I just did an exclusive streaming deal with them. However, this is what he said. He said, listen, this was before I ended up with Alki and messing with Dro. By the way, that's Film on TV, which he's now signed to now. But he said, listen, they were talking about taking me to Apple. This was before they did anybody with Apple Music. You know what Larry called me and said? He said, you're going to be the first artist on Apple Music, and I turned it down because, I don't know. I just didn't do it. But I would have been the first artist on Apple Music. Now, I got to give you guys a timing because you might want to laugh. Like, what the fuck? Like, if they're messing with the likes of The Weeknd, Drake, and Chance the Rapper, why would they ever consider Chief Keef? Chief Keef was the hot new nigga in 2012, 2013. So if a company who fucked with Keef, right, or the people who used to be at the record label who fuck with Keef, which is Jimmy Iovine, who kind of courted him in, A&Rs at the label who liked him already, and they go over to Apple Music, the first person in line when they pick an artist to get down within business, they gonna pick Keef. Now, again, I don't think they would ever pick somebody as volatile as Keef now because they're going safe. Apple Music is big. They got over 20 million subscribers. They are safe. They're going to go Chance. They're going to go Weeknd. They're going to go Drake. They're not really going to go for Chief Keef and Lil Pump, unfortunately, right? But you could tell Chief Keef has some regret here. I'm not too sure if he has regret about other parts of his career where he skipped out on supposedly like $100,000 video. It was a $100,000 video paid for by his record label for my favorite song on Finally Rich, Hate Being Sober. He ain't show up. He ain't show up at all. So that's wasted money. He did not show up. He used to get booked for shows, did not show up late and barely perform. He would get sent to interviews that he could expand his brand. And he would go there, not talk. Again, we all know he was like 16, 17. You got to give a nigga a pass. But these things, it seems like he's reflecting on, and I'm not too sure if he's regretful, but shit, man, he probably should be. Because he could be in a different position right now. But it is what it is. Hey, do you think if Chief Keef cooperated a little bit, he could have been still on a very mainstream level? Because he's not mainstream at all now. He always has his fan base. His fan base is super loyal. The Glow Gang fans are probably one of the best fan bases in terms of supporting their favorite artists. However, everybody loves having their fan base, but everybody wants to be accepted or they want to get bigger, right? That's the whole point of entertainment. You want to grow. And there's not much room for growth for Chief Keef now. A lot of labels ain't fucking with him. He had to go back to Film On after him and them had some problems because there was nowhere else to go. And they got him on their 7-year contract. So I'm not too sure if I'm hearing regret, but if it is regret, that's sad because I wish he had made the right decisions in the first place. Get in the comment box, but you guys like them, subscribe to Akademiks.